Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here, and today's topic is going to be talking about the Gunpla Fragment over here. So by the end of the week, we should be able to get up to 40 of these Gunpla Fragment over here. 8 is going to be obtainable via login bonuses, and then the other 32 is going to be obtainable by clearing the custom made mission. So once you have accumulated up to 100,000 points over here, you should be, or even, not even that, I believe once you hit up to 75,000 points, you'll be able to unlock most of the reward to just get the most important stuff. And then let's talk about what we are able to exchange for. You have your was it New Gundam version Ka, Seda Gundam. You just gonna be, so these are gonna be Soka obviously. So starting from right here to right here, that is gonna be some of your standards. So you have your Aegis, Gundam Barbados 4 form, that is not the big scale. And then you have your RA72, that one is not the big scale either. And then you do also have some pilots over here. You have Sasaishi, Low, Christina, and then you have some of your 3 stars over here. So we definitely do have a variety of stuff that you can be getting. So in terms of just basing off from the list over here, let's talk about 40 fragments of what we can exchange for, and then we have to go back into the event blueprint. So in terms of what you can exchange for, so the 4-star stuff over here, they are going to cost you 10 fragments over here. So the purple stuff you can exchange for 4 items of it, and then in terms of the 3-star stuff you can exchange up to 8. So I think the best bet to use your 40 fragment is definitely going to be on these 2 guys over here, just because they are going to be some Soka stuff, so they are going to be a little bit more harder to obtain than, let's say, your standard 4-star pilots, or even your 3-star standard pilots over here. Even the standard 4-star parts over here, I'm not gonna recommend you guys getting them, just because of how easy they are accessed. Like, they're just so easy to access them. So that's why I feel like going for the New Gundam version Ka and then Seda is definitely going to be the best bet. So in terms of, let's say, the New Gundam, I didn't really particularly find any good parts that I feel like confidently say, oh, this is like the best part to pick from either or. Maybe in terms of the Seda, I think the best bet is definitely going to be the backpack, just because it is going to be a very versatile, power boosting. You have 1 shooting power boosting, and then you have 1 EXQ power boosting. So that's why maybe the Seda backpack is probably the best option. But at the end of the day, if you guys are missing any of the following parts, for example, I'm missing a leg, I'll definitely pick up a leg. But if you guys are not too care about, let's say, the portrait, you just want something for the fashion, for the aesthetic, I would say just pick these 2, still the best bet, just because in terms of getting these are still a little bit harder. So these are going to be a little bit more expensive. It is going to cost you 40. So basically we just have 1, just enough to exchange for 1, which is kind of like, why? I do wish that we have a little bit more, but starting next week, we will be starting out another fresh batch of these parts over here. So 1 is just a little bit too bare minimum. I wish it could have been at least 2 at the most, like maybe 2 or 3, but I guess that is pretty much asking for too much. So yeah, the Seda backpack is definitely the best bet from the set. But I also do have like a request of like just asking me like from comment section, right? Are these even good? I mean, they're not bad, standard part, they're easy to access. They do have some of the standard alteration, which is good. But at the end of the day, in terms of overall portrait, like the main meat, that allows you to do more damage, for example. I'm not gonna say the portrait is like the most phenomenal compared to Sokai. That's that's probably like a given. So what I'll actually do, I'll actually be showcasing out the EX skills specifically, just to kind of give you guys like a good indication of like how good of a damage they can be doing. Do keep that in mind. Aegis, your Gundam Barbados 4 form, and then your Gundam RA72, all of them does have a standard alteration if we do visit this alteration page. And kind of keep that in mind in terms of the New Gundam version and then a Seda for this is Seda Gundam. They both have their standard or their permanent alteration. So in terms of alterating any of the parts, you don't need their specific L badges. All you need is going to be the B badges. So that's why they are going to be a little bit more easier to kind of alterate. So, but the overall stat, don't be surprised if they are so low, for example, just because in terms of the Seda right here, this one came out approximately a year and a half ago, so that's why it's not going to be like anything too groundbreaking, for example. And then even if you look at maybe the new Gundam, it's not like that great of a unit after alteration either. So that's why the Seda backpack is probably the best option up there. So let me hop into some EXQ showcases for the standard stuff over here. I'm not gonna alterate some of the parts just because I don't really have all the necessarily material or the resources for it. So but in terms of overall build that we'll be hopping into are definitely going to be for shooting base. I'm going to be using my shooting build definitely. So melee build is going to be this one over here. So just going to quickly run over some of the parts for you guys. So you guys can definitely see all of them are pretty much nearly maxed out. So we'll definitely be doing a tons of damage over here. So this is going to be the melee build. So in terms of the shooting build, I will be using this one over here. So this is going to be the melee build. So 190k shot attack, so it should be, you know, just any EXQ should be hitting pretty hard for this one. So here are going to be the portraits, so nearly all of them are maxed out, so you guys can see that we are going to be, you know, just outputting a lot. So with that being said, let me hop into, you know, let me put them on a skin first, and then we'll be hopping in to see what kind of damage they can be doing. Alright, before I even doing the EXQ showcase for you guys, so here are going to be the EXQ for your Barbados form over here. So first thing first, we are going to have the Fearless Hurdle over here. So this one, without the alteration, we are looking pretty sad, only D power. So with the proper alteration, we would be able to perform a lot more better. You know, I'm not going to alterate it just because I don't, I'm not going to alterate, or I'm not going to awaken it to 6-star yet, just because the resources, you know, don't even have all of them right now. I don't, so that's why I'm not going to do it. So just keep that in mind. With the proper alteration, we are going to be able to do a lot more damage. And then the other one is going to be the menace shot over here. So this one is not going to be performing as well either. Right now we are looking at a C to a D split, so not going to be that good. The only one that I have alterated at the moment, you know, is going to be the mace. The Iron Impact is a very strong melee EXQ here. So this one also does give you a little bit of a melee attack up, so that is going to be greatly benefited from the above EXQ effects, so it's not bad overall. Up next, we are going to be talking about the Aegis over here. So we do have 4 EXQ for the Aegis, but the head Vulcan, I'm not going to go over it. It's just, it sucks. We're not going to talk about that. So we have the Assault Cyclone over here. So this one, I'm not really the big fan of this one. This one is a custom EXQ, but this one is not actually buffing like an offensive stat. This one is buffing defensive. So I'm just like, why? What are we doing? So that's why this one I'm not gonna. I don't really see too much. Like this one is not gonna promise me anything too great in terms of damage output, just because we're not getting that extra damage add on. So this one, the kick combination, this one I don't know. Like I never actually really try it. It's a pretty subtle EXQ, I guess, not too great in a way, I guess. I don't know, but we'll definitely test it out in a bit. And then last but not least, we do have the famous shield throw over here. So just basically just throwing at your shield, not anything too spectacular in a way, but that is going to be pretty much it in terms of Aegis. So last but not least, we do have the tech attribute Gundam RA72 over here. So 2 EXQ is going to be melee, 1 EXQ is going to be a custom shot EXQ right there. So this one is going to be a double say rush, not anything too surprised at the moment. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen this iteration of the animation already. And then we have this Crimson Sting over here. So this one is basically just gonna be a few strikes from your lance over here, or the beam javelin. So it's not gonna be anything too crazy either. And then last but not least, you have the famous last shooting over here. So this one does have a good alteration. You know, it would pump it would bump up to a S power as well, so kind of keep that in mind. This one is a really good one. This raises the shot attack and then help recover. So just basically what we're looking for in terms of a good custom EXQ. So without any further ado, let me hop into some of those multi-mission matches for you guys and see how they can perform. Okay, so I am gonna be hopping into the very hard difficulty, because I feel like if I hop into, let's say, the extreme stage or even ultimate stage, I don't think that an altered version of either of the other 2 EXQs is not going to do anything, and plus they're not really benefiting from any of those above EXQ effects traits. So that's why I feel like taking on this one should be the safest bet. But in terms of Iron Impact, we can definitely benefit from all those above EXQ effects traits, so we should be able to see a lot of great damage. So first thing first, I am going to try out the Barbados, and then we'll hop into the Aegis, and then finish things off with the, what was the last one? The last one is RA72. So let me hop in now and see what we can do. Alright, so hopping in right now. So let me do quickly activate the limit break and then do this, and That's, I don't even know what kind of damage that is. That even good? I didn't see that one. That was just literally out of the screen. So you guys can see all those debuffer there. So I would have to say in terms of these two EX skills specifically, they are definitely very great in terms of debuffing your enemy. And that was a 1.3, or was that 1.3 or 13 million? Pretty sure that was the 13 million. So in terms of the iron impact all traded, you guys can see that there is going to be doing tons of good damage. But in terms of the other two damage prior to alteration, they're just not going to be doing that great of a damage. So you can definitely alterate it at your own cost. Definitely going to be more or less like a personal preference and all that. So now let me hop over to the Aegis and see how that one can do. Alright, so now hopping in with Aegis over here. So let me actually try out the kick combination first. So let me try to get up in. Okay, let me do it after you shoot that out. So okay, let's try it out. That is actually half bar. So I will I guess I'll take it. That's actually pretty good. So that was like roughly about 788,000. That's not too bad. Granted, I did activate my limber break, so let me do this now. So cyclone. Oh, wow, a solid 2 mil. That's actually not bad. Granted, we're not getting any buff. Like it's not really benefiting from like the actual attack buffing, because this one simply does not buff attack. It's simply buffing defense. So that's why I do have a little bit of like a drawbacks in terms of like alternating or not, just because this one is not like an actual it's not gonna do that much damage in a way. So 2 million, I definitely take it at 8 power wise up here. So now finish things off with the R872. Alright, in terms of the R872 testing for you guys over here, so I'm actually gonna be using it on my dual type build. So this is like a composition of everything together. So I do have a little bit like a mixture of, let's say, enemy reduction type in here, but they are a little bit more of like power boosting. So I feel like this one should be not a bad option to be looking at. So this is going to be the general portrait that we are looking at. So a little bit of power boosting here and there. So this one, it is going to be a speed attribute, so it is going to be doing this type disadvantage. So hopefully with DCXQ on that very hard difficulty, it should still be fine, I guess. So let me hopping out and see how that goes. Alright, so we are here. So let me quickly activate all these first, because like I don't want to get hit by that wave right there. No, I got hit. Man, so now my shot attack is gonna get lower because of that right there. So let me see if I can bypass that real quick. Alright, so that's done. So I might actually wait until that actual debuff on my end is over, and then I'll actually use the last shooting. Yeah, I'll probably have to. Alright, I think it's good. So let me see if the last shooting will actually finish things off. I don't think it will actually. No, it's not, because it's type disadvantage, and this is not like a truly like a full power boosting. So that's why I guess you see that in terms of the perception of damage in this game, it is purely based on what kind of portrait you guys are looking at. So that's why because this build is like a mixture of like power reduction, and then you have like a little bit of power boosting. So that's why it's not genuinely like a good overall build. It depends what kind of aspect you look at, but in terms of like clearing like a boss over here, this is certainly not the build to be looking at. But I think we are going to end things up right here, as I'm getting tumbled by those energy ball right there. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the Gunpla Fragment over here. So do let me know which one of the parts you guys are going to be picking, and then next week we are going to be getting a new batch of parts to be looking at. So that being said, I'll catch you guys all on the next one.